All right, consider this the state of the Pittsburgh Steelers address. We are coming off of 3 consecutive losing games, coming off of a 6-game winning streak. Does that make any sense? You streak with wins and then you streak with losses. We have found ways to lose in these games. More importantly, like I've touched on throughout the entire season, of the games that we lost outside of Baltimore in week 4 on Sunday night, we have lost by 1 possession. And every single game that we have lost has been on our accord, our ineptitude to finish games. Let me just say this. Of all of the games that we happen to lose this year, outside of Cleveland where it was a tie, so that's not categorized as a loss, we have failed to run the football over 20 times. All right? In these 3 games that we have lost consecutively, we haven't ran the ball over 20 times. But against Oakland, we weren't getting any production. You have to commit to the run game. That's the Pittsburgh Steelers philosophy. All right? We play hard-nosed defense. We run the football. That is Steelers philosophy when we play football. You can't just go out there and expect to get 130 carries, or I should say 130 yards on 18 carries. That's not going to happen. I analyze football a little bit differently. If you finish the game with 22 carries and about 70 or 80 yards, if you're getting 5 yards here, if you're getting 4 yards here, if you're getting 6 yards here, that's positive production. Every carry doesn't have to be 10 yards, but if you're getting 5, that builds confidence. In the game against Oakland, you saw Samuels go in there and he had a couple of runs where he gained 3. You would have a 2nd and 7 sort of situation. He'd gain 4 here. He'd gain 5 here. He'd probably gain 2 here. But when you completely abandon it, and now you got Big Ben throwing the ball over 30 times against teams that aren't great against the run, I'm not understanding where we are as a coaching staff or what we're trying to coach up these players. Defensively, we're not making adjustments at all. You see constantly, there's tight ends who are main factors of the game being covered by linebackers. You see receivers who are main factors in the game. These guys are X factors for the opposing team coming in, going against our linebackers when we have slot corners that can cover these people. I'm not understanding what we're doing. Schematically, it doesn't make sense. Special teams, we have been absolutely atrocious. All right, Boswell is playing as one of the worst kickers in the league right now. Last year, he was playing as one of the better kickers in the league. In fact, he went to a Pro Bowl because he was arguably the best kicker in the league last year. And what do we see this year? A complete drop-off. Our offensive line are still doing what they're doing. AB's being freaking triple teamed, double teamed here and there, but Juju's eating. This is considered a down season for Antonio Brown. He's still leading the league in touchdowns. So I should say tied with the league in touchdowns. Still top 15 in every single other category. And this is considered a down season. Our offense is far too overpowered. What we're doing offensively from a coaching standpoint, we're costing ourselves games because we're refusing to commit to the run game. We shouldn't be off balance. There's no reason why we constantly find ourselves in 3rd and long situations while we're going 3rd and 3 and out when we have this high-powered offense. Defensively, what we should be doing is not being on the field this often. We're giving the opposing team the Steelers philosophy. Why? Because our defense is constantly on the field because of the ineptitude of the play calling for our offense to succeed. Then we abandon the run game so we don't control the time of possession. And the longer our offense stays off the field, the colder that they get. The opposing offense stays on the field. Our defense can't make adjustments because guys are getting gassed. And then you underachieve, and a team that you should be beating and teams that you should be beating across the across the board go and get W's. The game against the Broncos, we had the game in control. We failed to score. Why? Because Grimble wants to make stuff look great for social media, great for his highlight tape, and try to run somebody over, fumble into the back of the end zone. James Conner, slippery arms, got butterfingers, ball flying out of his hands, now you got fumbles. Big Ben throwing interceptions. These are mental errors that we're making. The opposing team is making the plays. Of course, they're going to capitalize on our mistakes, but we're putting ourselves in that position. Week after that, played against the damn Chargers. We had a 3-possession lead. All right, I believe it was 15 or 16 points. We were up 23-7. I believe that was the score. And what happened? We completely abandoned the run game. We didn't run over. There's no reason why you have a 3-possession lead. You're not even trying to run the football. I'm not understanding where the logic is there. There's no logic there. I'm not saying play conservative and let's not try to do what's working. However, you've seen what happened when we look at Super Bowl 51 and you got Matt Ryan and the Falcons up 28-3 and you only run the ball 4 times after taking a 3-possession lead. Doesn't make any sense. All right, that's not smart football. If you played in Madden and you stimulated the entire game and you kept pressing ask Madden, ask Madden, ask Madden, you would not find a situation in which you have 4 or 5 more possessions and you only run the ball 4 times. It doesn't make any sense. Then this past game against Oakland, again, abandoning the run game. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. My only concern for our defense is that they find themselves on the defense on the field far too often because of the ineptitude of our offense. Big Ben, he's playing all right. Bad decisions with him throwing the ball. Why? Because he's throwing way too often. Big Ben in the area of 25 attempts to 35, I'm very confident. If he's throwing 45 and higher, it makes no sense. If we're going against a ranked defense that's in the bottom half of the league stopping the run, we should be running at least 25 times per game. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. We have injuries here and there, but we should be able to overcompensate for them being gone because we have so many pieces. But we're not doing a good job. Now, regarding what happened in Oakland, with Mike Tomlin saying, well, Big Ben, he was cleared to come back into the game, but the flow of the game, that doesn't make any sense. What flow of the game? Josh Dobbs came in. Did our offense do anything? Absolutely not. Did we score in the second half up until Ben re-entered the game with, 5 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter? We did absolutely nothing. So why would you sit here and then say out of your mouth and try to prognosticate to me that, the flow of the game was going well with Dobbs in there? Absolutely not. You have Big Ben, that's your quarterback. If he's coming out of the tunnel and they say he's cleared to play, you put him back in the game. Bottom line. If he says he's all right and he can go and play, you put him in. If there's doubts on either side, then all right. But if you agree, he could have went in the game a little bit earlier. If he agrees, I could have went in the game a little bit earlier. What is the debate? What is the hassle? Put the man in the game. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. Things are unraveling. Because coming into this season, this team reminded me of the 1997 Denver Broncos, all right? Because if you remember, 1996, they went, 13-3, 12-4. They lost in the very first round of the playoffs. Who'd they lose to? The Jacksonville Jaguars. You saw this team that was high-powered on offense. They were overachieving on defense, but they laid an egg in the postseason. Then the following season, they came, they got stuff together, then they were able to finally make it to the promised land. Right now, this team is reminding me of the 2005 Steelers, where you have to win crucial games to get into the dance. Here's the thing. The games that we have to win this particular year are way tougher than the games that we had to win back in 2005. At the time, it was still some tough games, but right now you're going against the New England Patriots, who we have struggled against for, I would say, half a decade, or I should say a decade and a half. I should say we probably got maybe 3 wins on them. You got 2004, Big Ben's rookie season. Then you got 2008 when Matt Castle was a starting quarterback. Then you got 2011 when we defeated them. Outside of that, we haven't beat them since. Granted, there's been injuries, key injuries that's happened to us during the game. And there's a difference between last year, because a lot of people will say for them, Edelman being out the whole year and we happen to lose Antonio Brown. There's a difference between in-game injuries versus injuries coming into the game. If you can game plan around not having somebody, that's different than losing a key piece during the game. But we'll talk about that when I break down the game tomorrow for our pregame analysis. But right now, if Pittsburgh has to turn this around, run the football. And defensively, we have to get some takeaways, because there's no reason why we're leading the league in sacks, but our takeaways, we only have 6 interceptions, 5 forced fumbles. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. What are we doing? What are we doing as a defense? If we can't take the ball out of the opposing team's hands, what are we doing? I've seen constantly on third down, we set up third and long situations, and then our secondary gives up a big play. We can't play football like that. We cannot play football like that. The core of this team is far too strong and talented for us to continue to squander seasons. All right? 2014, we had a chance to possibly make a run towards the Super Bowl. Le'Veon Bell, my knee. Reggie Nelson, bam, season done. He couldn't play in the postseason game against Baltimore. All right. 2015, Antonio Brown gets knocked out in the wild card game. Le'Veon Bell already was injured. D'Angelo Williams couldn't even play in the damn game against Denver. Fitzgerald Toussaint fumbled on the play. Game over. All right. 2016, AFC Championship. Le'Veon Bell, my groin, he's hurt. All of a sudden, the secondary that was playing all right against Kansas City, playing well against Miami, now they're inept playing against the damn Patriots. We make absolutely no adjustments. We stay in the same zone. Tom Brady, Chris Hogan tear us the hell up. 2017, the defense could not even stop anybody. All right, they went out there with a bunch of Tylenol. They couldn't stop the cold. We got blown out by damn Blake Bortles and the Jacksonville Jaguars offense. Yes, we lost by 3 points, but bottom line, we did not play well. It felt as if they won 87-46. We can't continue to have these ineptitude moments in our mind. We have to go and play good football. We're not going to be one of those teams. We have way too much talent on this team to continue to underachieve, all right? Mike Tomlin, this is on you. There's a reason why people are so crucial when we talk about our coaches, all right? Because if you look at the resume with Mike Tomlin versus more coaches in the league, or I should say all the coaches in the league, there's only about a handful, if you're lucky to get 5 coaches that are doing better than this man over his entire tenure. However, with what he's been gifted with, this particular team, he has been underachieving, and when you look at the losses, it lands more on the shoulders of the coaching than it does on the players. Far too many times have we seen this, especially when we play against teams that are under 500. It falls on the shoulders of the coaching and his refusal to make adjustments down the line. And this has happened year in and year out. And right now, as things are unraveling, knowing that this team is pretty much towards the tail end of their window to possibly get and contend for a Super Bowl, because guys are getting older, people are going to want to get paid, all that other stuff. Plus, Big Ben, he's not getting any younger. We have to get it together. We have to get it together. I'm confident that it's possible, but I wore this shirt to show a reason, all right? I used to believe the Pittsburgh Steelers knew football. I would hope that they still remember how to know football, because as of right now, it doesn't look like we know football, all right? We got to get it together. Get your head out of your ass. We're going to do it again. Steelers on 3, on 6. We're saying get your head out of your ass. 1, 2, 3 Steelers, 4, 5, 6. Get your head out of your ass. Turn this sumbitch around, because the season, it's still young, but damn it, our backs are against the wall.